Welcome to the Panthers postgame show. Kristen Balboni, Thomas Davis, Jonathan Stewart, and guys, what a game it was. The Panthers at home defeating the Bucs to move to first in the NFC South. TD, what does it say about this team that they were able to pull this one off?
Man, KB, I love the resilience that I've seen from this football team, and it's happened time and time again. Since week 1 and 2, we have not lost consecutive games, and that's one of the things that I love about this team is they have the opportunity to go out, have some miscues, come back, watch the film, correct those mistakes, and just keep it going.
Christmas came early. That's how I see it. Getting a win like this in Bank of America Stadium is huge. Meaningful games in December is huge for the fans. It's been a long time. And so this time of year, you want to give gifts, and this is one of those gifts that they gave to the city and the Carolinas as a whole. But the way that they did it, it's like a marriage. Sometimes, it's 50-50. That's a perfect world. But sometimes it's got to be 80-20. But with that 20, I think the offense was a 20, right? And I think the defense led with that 80. But you got to make sure you give me all that 20.
Yes.
And I think the offense gave every bit of that 20 yesterday.
All right, well, guys, we got to relive this, right? Like you said, it was a gift right around Christmas, Stu. We want to bask in all of that good holiday cheer right now. And look, we got to start out with this shot at Bank of America Stadium. The fans were on fire. The Panthers gave the fans something to cheer about early, go down, score a field goal, but very quickly, right after that, guys, Cameron Johnson, 37-yard kickoff return.
Got to be better on special teams.
Yeah, which led right here to this touchdown by the Bucs. Who else but Mike Evans right there, guys?
Mike Evans, man, he's the guy that he's been getting it done for Tampa for a long time, KB. And there's something that Tampa Bay likes to do on the 1-yard line. They like to get the ball to that dude for whatever reason.
I don't know why. I don't know why it would work.
Yeah, a little cheat code.
You're going to be breaking that down a little bit later in our film breakdown segment. But then, I mean, come on, Panthers, this was such an incredible drive right before the half.
I can do better.
We got our own version of Mike Evans and T-Mac here.
Yeah, T-Mac said, watch this. And Stu, you're going to be breaking down this entire drive because it was such a great drive to come away with the lead going into the half, knowing that Tampa was going to get the ball back. And guys, what T-Mac can do as a rookie has just impressed everybody.
Rookie of the year performance, without a doubt. It was close in the beginning. I think Ibuka was putting up a fight. But what T-Mac has done down the stretch has definitely separated him from the rest of the guys, man. He continued to show up for us big time and time again. The kid just continues to make plays.
All right, we go to the third quarter now, though. The Bucs converted 4 third down conversions, and it started with this Baker Mayfield 23-yard scramble on 3rd and 7.
Got to keep your eyes on the quarterback at all times. He's the guy that escapes the pocket, and he's not afraid to make things happen with his legs.
And then he gets the ball out to Rachaad White. That sets up this Sean Tucker 1-yard touchdown.
As a defense, when you bottle everything up inside like that, you've got to be aware of the edges, and we were soft on the edges on this play.
But look, the Panthers said, look, it's our turn now. T-Mac, 11-yard catch. Guys, I don't know how he made this catch right here.
This is all trust with him and Bryce Young. This is something that they have obviously figured out, the chemistry between the two of them in practice, over the offseason. This is where it shows up in real-life games.
And then talk about great plays. Look at this.
The escapability. And Alabama, Bryce showed up again.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. His ability to get out of the pocket and just keep his eyes downfield. To me, I'm like, okay, now Bryce, run it in. And Bryce was thinking like, no, throw the touchdown. And,
yeah, he's going to give J.C. Sanders.
Better that way.
I'm going to give J.C. Sanders some love right here. It is a tie game right here deep into the fourth quarter. And look at this, Jalen Coker, 34-yard catch on 3rd down, and that is what he does, guys.
Man, when I saw that flag, I'm like, oh, here we go again. They're trying to figure out a way. But, Coker creating separation, and the pinpoint accuracy of this football does not get talked about enough with what Bryce Young is able to do. And I love this connection. It's continuing to heat up more and more. Bryce to Coker. We know he wasn't there at the beginning of the season, but I'm glad he's out there now, Stu.
Oh, yeah. and a great job of getting his hands in position to make that catch as well.
Yeah, and that set up this Ryan Fitzgerald 48-yard field goal. Wind at his back. Panthers take the lead right there, but then the Bucs start their final drive. 2:20 left in the game, 2 timeouts, and then once again, Baker Mayfield, 26-yard scramble.
You said Baker Mayfield or Mike Vick? Who's that? I don't know.
How do you stop that from happening, TD?
Man, listen, 'cause you got to be disciplined in your rush lanes. You got to understand that sometimes you understand mobile quarterback mechanics, and you just don't think of Baker as being that. But he got it done for them yesterday. But right here, Lathan Ransom got it done for us.
Oh, yeah, with a nice little haymaker to finish the game. You know, this is awesome for him because last week, obviously coming off of that end of the game penalty where it's a bang-bang play. Nobody likes the rule sometimes. It's just doesn't go in the defense's favor. But for him to be able to come up with this pick and to end the game and leave no question about it, this is huge.
And to the rookie's credit, early in the game, it's been talked about all week. You watch the game and you judge the game on how you play defensively on how the refs are calling the game. Mm-hmm. And if you watch your quarterback have the same situation, have the same thing happen to him, and it doesn't get called, when you go into the game late in the game, you expect to get the same calls or not get the same calls as the other team, and it didn't work out that way. But I'm so happy for that kid that he was able to bounce back and, kind of right some of those wrongs that he had last week, and coming up with that huge takeaway was something that I know that kid is going to relish going into the Christmas break with his family, with his teammates. Yeah. And I just love that he was able to bounce back that way.
And as a player, when it comes to these refs, I know people complain all the time about the ref did this, the ref did that. We just want the refs to be the same guy.
Consistency,
to be the same guy throughout
They want us to be
the
consistent as players.
Game.
We can only be consistent if we know how the game is going to be called, and we can go out and play it the same way. I don't want it to be a situation where I see and watch you get away with one thing, and I do the same thing you do, but I get called for it. It just doesn't add up.
The Panthers were able to overcome that, though, yesterday in order to get the win. We just saw it, going in, getting that lead in the division. And Stu, I want to go back to something you said about 80-20 in this game. This game really was the defense giving the Panthers offense an opportunity to go down and win this one late. And I thought nothing's, encapsulated that more than that Panthers opportunity in the second quarter where they held the Bucs to a field goal. We saw the penalty there on special teams. They had to go back out and do it again. They hold them to another field goal, guys. And that one was, the Bucs had it 1st and goal from the 4. TD, what does that mean when you as a defense go out and do that?
Listen, that just speaks to the resiliency of this football team. It shows you that this defense understands the bend but don't break mentality. You give us some yards or you have a penalty, a tough penalty on a field goal attempt, but it's not over until the ball ends up in the end zone or you take it away or you end up forcing them to kick another field goal. And this defense got after it, KB, starting with Roseboom on that first play, then Roseboom again. And now, right here on this play, everything gets bottled up. J.C. Horn, our cornerback, comes away with this huge tackle, man, and everybody got fired up. And look at J.C. I love to see that kid when he's playing with that kind of emotion and that kind of energy. That really tells me that this defense is hitting on all cylinders.
And Stu, you talked about this last night when we were talking about this game. The cornerbacks not just being physical in the passing game, but as TD just said, in the run game as well. Yeah,
when you have your starting corners being in the trenches, being a part of the run defense, that is what you want to see. And one of the things that just looking at this film, right, it reminds me of looking at the defenses that I was around playing for the Carolina Panthers, to be honest. It looks like they want to be out there.
Yes.
No matter how many times they got to be out there, they get to be out there. And that's the way it seems like they're playing. I look at the end of the game. We talked about it last night, right? Nick Scorton dancing during the timeout.
Yeah.
Right?
Right before that Bucs final drive.
And playing football. And these are the types of guys that Dan Morgan was talking about.
Yes.
Do you love football? Are you a football guy? Will you die for this? Well, you know what I'm saying? This has to be the nature in which our Carolina Panthers are playing with. And so watching these guys swarm around to the ball, wanting to make the play, wanting to make their play, right? So that way other guys can be in position to make theirs.
Man, just going into halftime, not everybody got a chance to see this. And KB, I talked to you about this after the San Fran game, watching Bryce's press conference, and you see the emotion, you see how upset and how disappointed he was. I watched the games from the gallery. You know, I'm afforded that opportunity to watch the game from the gallery suites. And going into the locker room at halftime, I have the opportunity to watch the players. And, you know, I'm reading body language. And I watched Bryce walk into the locker room. And I have it on film, too. I actually have a recording of this. He was walking in, and I saw the same emotion that I saw after the San Fran game. And I'm like, I love it. I mean, he had just thrown a touchdown pass, but I think part of that emotion came, he felt like he got hit on that play. But I love to see that from him, because when you see that kind of emotion, and we used to see it in Cam in certain instances when he just felt like there was nothing that you could do to stop him. And I kind of saw that in him. And sure enough, he went out, he played the second half that way.
Yeah. I mean, another game-winning drive. That is his 12th in his time with the Panthers, which is absolutely crazy. And the thing you can say about Bryce is that he is not afraid of the moment. He thrives in those moments. And we saw just some incredible plays as we were talking through that recap. Let's talk about them a little bit more. What he was able to do to extend plays yesterday. You know, we talk about it a lot, but I mean, it's incredible still.
I mean, he's doing this, you know, not by himself, right? You talk about the plays where he's scrambling, where he's trying to make things happen. I look at the play where he's running to the right, to our sideline, right?
Literally.
And you have guys out there blocking for him, making sure that he gets every yard possible because they trust him with the ball. They know that he's going to try to make something happen. And then there was another particular play where Tommy Tremble is on our sideline, and he's bullying the guy all the way to the bench.
I was standing right there, and I was just like, "Ooh, I feel bad for that guy."
And that to me is imposing your will, finding work, right? If you're a receiver and your quarterback's scrambling and he crosses the line of scrimmage, go find work. Here it is, right here. Tommy Tremble, take him to the ground. Finish him.
Little Mortal Kombat.
But you know, it's a good day when you see Bryce Young utilizing his legs and getting moving the chains, keeping the progress going with his legs, because that's what the game calls for.
And you can see week in and week out the ankle continuing to get more and more healthy, and Bryce is moving around a lot better. And, man, listen, as we continue to go down the stretch, things can get spooky around here, Stu.
Oh, you know they call him the Grim Reaper right now.
The Carolina Reaper, too. Yes.
Reaper, all right?
Hot peppers. But, TD, you made a good point, too, with that ankle. You know, he got stepped on, and that was that ankle that's been bothering him. And I watched him, you know, you see Andy Dalton start to warm up right there because he's just being a good backup quarterback. You watch him go get wrapped up, and I swear it wasn't 2-3 minutes later that he's testing out that ankle. He's back, again, not missing a series and continuing to make plays like we just saw right there on that ankle. And, I mean, it's just that toughness. You guys are two of the toughest, right, for the Panthers, and you got to love seeing that. Another thing, TD, that we have talked about all season long is Bryce improving with taking care of the ball. And we have really seen that in the last few weeks, that is something that plagued him a little bit earlier in the season. And now, I mean, look at these numbers. You look at weeks 1 through 10. He was 28th in the league in fumbles, 25th in interceptions, 29th in total turnovers. Look at that. First in the league now in the last 5 weeks, guys. I mean, that is the difference maker as you go down the stretch in this game.
No question. And this is the point in the season where you want to be playing your best ball down the stretch. It's not about whoever has been the best team over the course of the beginning of the season. It's about whoever is playing the best ball in December. That's what you want from your football team, and that's what we've been getting out of this football team.
The Bucs know that well.
Offense, absolutely. You know, they've stumbled down the stretch. They started out hot, and now, you know, they've kind of faltered. I think they've lost 7 of their last 8 or 6 of their last 7, something crazy like that. But what it really speaks to is the continuity in this team coming together. You know, you see a group of guys starting to gel. You see guys defensively getting on the same page, starting to make plays. Has it been perfect? Not at all. But what have they gotten better, in particular in the red zone? you give us some yardage, but if you keep teams out of your end zone, you give yourself a chance to win football games, and that's what we're seeing out of this bunch, Stu.
Yeah, you got to hold on to the ball. Simple as that, right? And I think we're peaking at the right time.
Yes.
And, you have teams, you look at the Atlanta Falcons basically every year with the Atlanta Falcons. They start off hot, and then they, take a chill pill.
Yep.
Right?
Take a chill pill.
And then I think what you're seeing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is, given their injuries and stuff like that throughout the course of the season, they weren't able to peak at the right time. And right now they have gotten some guys back. You look at Chris Godwin getting his legs back. You look at the rookie receiver, as far as being able to position himself. Earlier in the season, he had this hype, but there is a rookie wall. Did he hit it?
Yeah.
And was he overutilized because a guy like Godwin was out? And so, I look at the Carolina Panthers and how we've been set up for success is T-Mac started off hot with Bryce Young. But because of guys like Jalen Coker coming in after a slow start to the season of him being on the sideline.
Yep.
Right? It allows for guys to be able to have that yin and yang, that balance. So I think we are hitting our stride at the perfect time.
And I know some fans are going to watch this and they're going to say, it's tough to say that we're hitting our strides and we just lost the game before this. But in that game, we literally dominated for 58, 59 minutes of that game. We did exactly what we needed to do.
Yeah.
And TD, we only had 52 players on offense.
Exactly. So that's one of the things that you have to really take into consideration. We literally played well enough to win the game. We talked about it, KB.
Yep.
Well enough to win, but also well enough to lose.
Against the Saints.
And we just had to make another play here or there. And some questionable calls, we know that, but at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're doing the things necessary so that it doesn't come down to the refs. And that's what we were able to do in this football game. And, at the end of that game, the last play with Lathan Ransom being able to come away with that interception, that was a collective. That was a pass rush, getting out the Baker, making them have happy feet, forcing the guys on the back end. They plastered, covered Mike, forced him to go an opposite way of Baker. And, we ended up with that. But that just shows you how well things work when you have a group playing together and it's one unit. Everybody playing in unison and all at once, too.
Absolutely. And like you said, this group is playing together. The thing about this group, while they may win and lose, right, on any given week, they respond every single week, and you love to see that. Let's take a listen now to what Bryce Young had to say about this team playing together.
I'm so proud of this group. I'm so proud to be a Panther. Like you said, the resiliency speaks for itself. We just know how to come back and refocus. Good or bad, we try to flush it, and there's no quit in us. Coach talks about it all the time. Finish. That's something that we take a lot of pride in. That we carry into every aspect of who we are as a team. And for us not to just talk it, but to walk it, to be resilient, to go and continue to battle. I wouldn't want to go to war with any other team.
Right before the half, we have to have it. Bryce Young and the offense delivered. 1 minute left going into the second half. We have to come up with points, not field goals, touchdowns, and that's exactly what we were able to do. Let's look at what happened. All right, TD, soft coverage, right?
Got to take advantage of it. Time and time again, we saw Tampa taking advantage of our soft coverage. Bryce identified it, did an amazing job of getting the ball to T-Mac.
And make it easy. You get those 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2 situations to where you can get a run in like this right here, soft coverage, easy pickup.
That's what you want to live in. You don't want to live in 3rd and long when you're playing a team like Tampa Bay because they're going to bring the house. Right here, XL got to do a much better job, Stu, like you talked about, of catching this ball with his hands.
Hands catch right there, because if you wait on the body, your body's going out of bounds, and so you're not giving yourself a chance with the quarterback. But it's a good job by Bryce, trusting his receivers, understanding what the down and distance was, and this is what I would like to see more of. Xavier Legette in space, nobody around him, make somebody miss.
That was a good, smart job of getting out of bounds and saving the timeout too, Stu.
And then obviously just continuing to take what the defense gives you. And then you get another big body receiver and Jalen Coker.
I love this matchup, man. Jalen Coker and Bryce Young connecting. The connection, not matchup. The connection between those two is heating up more and more as the season go on. With Coker missing the beginning of the season, Stu, I love what Bryce was doing on this drive. He was cooking.
All right, and then what we have here is zero blitz. What do we do here? We find T-Mac for the score, and you got to make them pay when they blitz.
Listen, we knew Tampa was going to bring the house, and Dean has been a guy that has not given up a touchdown until he met T-Mac. T-Mac up top. Tampa has been doing this to us and other teams in the NFL for a very long time with a big body receiver, and now we have our own, and they get a dose of their own medicine.
Oh, yeah, they got that medicine for sure.
So let's jump right into this defense. Enough of that offensive stuff, man. Tampa, you know, they were a team. Anytime you see this formation, Stu, and you start to think as a defense, I'm coming downhill. It's first and goal on the 1 yard line. They have to be running the football, right?
Right.
Nah, not Tampa Bay, because they got a guy like Mike Evans who they have the utmost confidence in. They don't feel like there's a lot of guys that can contest and get up to the level that he's able of getting up to. And unfortunately on this play, he got the better of Mike Jack, Stu.
I mean, but Mike Jack was all over him.
He did a great job.
Great hand placement and everything.
Listen, this is what you want out of your cornerbacks from a physicality standpoint. But sometimes offenses, they get paid too. Coaches tell us, great throw, great catch. Just look at the position that he's in.
Yeah.
He played this as best as you could possibly play it without coming away with an interception. But right here, on this play right here, this right here to me shows me what Mike Jack has been doing. He's been studying film. Mm-hmm. On this play, 3rd and 4, this is a crucial play in the game. But what it says to me is this guy watches film and he understands formations. He understands what's coming. If Baker Mayfield delivers this ball, Stu, in a better time and on point, Mike Jack is going the other way with this football. You can't play that any better.
Yeah.
So I love what I'm seeing from Mike Jack. He's been a guy that I've said time and time again, Mike Jack didn't like nice things. I had to go to him and apologize because he said, TD, I'm going to show you. A couple weeks ago, he showed me, he proved me wrong, and I love that for him against the Rams. But right here, this right here really speaks to his ability in watching film. But we talked about watching film. We talked about learning from your mistakes. We didn't go back and rewind the film. If you look at it, it's 1st and goal again. We're on the 1 yard line again. Stu, they got to be running the ball again, right?
Yeah, they got to do it.
Because not Tampa Bay. That ain't what they do. So right here, Mike Jack, remember, last time, you know, I was in phase. I was on top of the receiver, and he was able to come away with a touchdown. So this time, I'm going to play underneath and make sure that he can't secure it. But also, you know, Mike Evans was a guy that had a little shoulder injury. I'm going to make sure that shoulder's all right. So when we go there to the ground, I'm playing it through the ground, and we're going to the ground. And that's another body blow to Mike Evans' shoulder. You're not saying that you want to hurt nobody, but if you can land on the shoulder, you might want to land on the shoulder.
Get him uncomfortable, right?
Make him uncomfortable, Stu. And Mike Jack did that time and time again. Right here, you see another opportunity, Mike Jack against Mike Evans. We got the better of the Mike situation in this game. Mike Evans held
Mike a lot
35 yards to think in this game, Stu. You don't hold a guy like Mike Evans to 35 yards without being intentional. And I feel like our DBs, they were physical. They were ready for the moment, and they knew without a doubt that Baker Mayfield was going to be trying to get the ball to Mike Evans a lot in this game, as he has time and time again. And, you know, defensively, we did a great job of keeping Baker under 200 yards, and when it came down to it, we were able to force him to throw the football to us to come away with a huge takeaway. I talked about it last week. We want to be in a position defensively when the game was on the line and we were on the field. Mm-hmm. We had that same situation against the Saints, and unfortunately, we got a penalty and allowed them to score at the end of the game to take the lead. But in this situation, we had a chance to go out and rectify some of our wrongs, and we finished the game with an interception, and that's what you want defensively, and that's kind of been the motto.
Over the final 3 games, Baker, Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and then Baker again. Mayfield in the shotgun, twins to the right, chest high snap. Deep in the pocket, Mayfield Bouncing around the pocket, throws, and it's picked off at the 30. Picked off by Carolina. Panthers football, Lathan Ransom, the rookie, comes up with one of the biggest plays of the season, a diving interception.
We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. What a great moment for the rookie right there. Look at TD smiling. So let me just read you some of the numbers of this rookie class in this game alone, all right? So we saw Lathan Ransom with the game-winning interception. Tetairoa McMillan, 6 catches, 73 yards, a touchdown. Nick Scorton, 4 tackles, including 1 for loss, 3 quarterback pressures. Trevor Etienne, 3 punt returns for 33 yards. Mitchell Evans, 3 receptions, 23 yards, 1 first down. Jimmy Horn Jr. had that big 25-yard play to set up the field goal. TD, this rookie, look at you. Look at the grins on your faces. This rookie class, hats off to Dan Morgan for drafting these guys and then for these guys for living up to it.
Yes, Dan Morgan definitely cooking. You know, I had a chance to sit and talk with him yesterday. But one of the things the person that I want to start with, KB, and you know who is going to be, T-Mac, man, just adding him to this offense. I just sit back and I think, Jalen Coker has played well for us, and we've seen Excel make some plays, but we are not where we are as a football team if T-Mac is not on this team, if he's not playing the way that he's been playing. I think that that's extremely important for us to acknowledge. For him to be able to come in, have 6 receptions, 73 yards, and a touchdown, and to me, be leading the race as the offensive rookie of the year speaks volumes for what this kid has done.
And Stu, going back to the beginning of the season, there was the somewhat controversial trade of Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Right?
And you go, that was Bryce's #1 guy. That was the security blanket. Now we have this whole group of young wide receivers. And look at what, would T-Mac have had those opportunities if Adam Thielen was still on this roster?
I think you're absolutely right. You're forcing these guys to grow up. There's no such thing as being a rookie, even though you're classified as such. When you are on that roster, you're expected to be a pro. And these young guys are operating on pro level every week. And I think that's, you have to give, some kudos there to the position coaches.
Yes.
Right? So, being able to have these guys ready and the development process for these guys is not easy, especially as a rookie, right? Understanding, where do I live? How long does it take to get to work? What time do I have to wake up?
Yeah.
And then you add on, studying film on your own. You're talking about nutrition. You're talking about home life, your family. There's a lot going on.
Your schedule's way longer.
Yeah, so as far as what the Carolina Panthers have been doing as a whole when it comes to developing and having the resources there for them to be able to come out on Sundays and play free, not every organization has that. And I feel like, looking at how this rookie class, literally everybody on that list has made an impact this year. That doesn't come to every team as well as it has for the Carolina Panthers.
And I didn't even mention Ryan Fitzgerald. Right? Talk about a huge absolutely. And TD, I would be remiss also if we didn't mention the growth of Nick Scorton.
Got to talk about Nick Scorton and what he's been able to do, because there was a lot of questions, especially with losing Pat Jones over in the middle of the season. That was a tough loss for us, but Nick Scorton has stepped up in a big way. And Dan Morgan has talked about it time and time again. He feels like we stole a first rounder in the second round by drafting Nick Scorton, and he has absolutely lived up to the billing. He has played like that time and time again, and I feel like he's a kid that not just him, but I feel like when you look at that draft class and you list that out, it kind of reminds me of the Seattle Seahawks draft in years past and what they used to do back in the day when they had the whole Legion of Boom and all of that. And Dan worked with
Dan
those
Morgan
guys.
Was there. Yes.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that. But I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that Seattle used to have guys from top to bottom in their drafts that contributed. And I think Dan understood that. He understood the importance of getting guys in, allowing them to play early, not sitting them. But what that does for your football team as the years go on, you continue to draft guys and you make those the guys that are on your team and taking up those roster spots. You don't have a lot of equity invested in them, so that keeps your cap down and it gives you an opportunity to just continue to develop your roster.
Yeah. And these guys are not bit players. They are contributors. They are difference makers. Speaking of difference makers, what was a difference maker? The home crowd. We are
Yes,
going to
they
get into
were.
it. But let's hear what the head coach had to say about the fans.
It was electric. Bank of America Stadium was a special place today. Towels, black towels waving, all black uniforms, the whole thing. It felt right. It felt exactly right. It was an advantage. There were some false starts. There were some issues with communication. You could see where they were having trouble getting the calls in and getting lined up. That's our fan base. That's showing up for all of us. It does. It really does take all of us, and those are the little advantages and edges that you need. And I'm so fortunate to be able to be here to feel that type of energy in the building. And then we make big plays. They let you hear it, and the guys feed off of that. So it was an amazing electric feel today in the stadium.
Yeah, Bucks, 3 false starts, 1 delay of game. And Stu, like you said, we were talking last night, and you were like, this feels like when you guys were playing.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we all dream of, right? Whenever you can be in the NFL, a college game day experience, whatever it is, and you have that home crowd just blaring noise, and you can barely hear the person next to you. You can barely hear the play call. You can barely, hear the signal from your defensive, play caller. These are the moments that get you amped up. And it takes me back to 2015, man, because, the fans that year, it was a special year. Mm-hmm. It was a special year because we were winning, but the whole city was invested. And whenever you get a whole city, a whole state, 2 states, mm-hmm. invested and have your back and believe in something, and you get that into this stadium, magical things happen. And the crowd yesterday was it was a huge impact, especially for the defense. We have a smart crowd. You can go to certain teams. The fans aren't that smart.
Yeah, we're like, hey, we're on offense.
Hey, we're on
Let's
offense.
bring it down.
And yesterday the offense was out there, and it was you can hear a baby cry, mm-hmm. right? And so those are the types of moments that you live for as far as playing this game, because it's different than basketball. It's different than any other sport. You have diehard fans out there really making impact.
And I think it honestly started with my guy here, Stu, getting the juices going before the game.
Great
say that
Pregame
enough.
speech if you were at the game.
Stu got everybody fired up. He literally set the tone for what the energy was going to be like in the building, and the fans lived up to the building, and I feel like what better week to lead into than you playing a team that has one of the toughest fan base. This is an opportunity for our fan base to show the Seattle 12 what it looks like when you step into Bank of America. We have our own buzz too. We got our own keep pounding mantra. We got something that we're going to show you guys. And our fan base, we know without a doubt that you guys are going to be locked in. You're going to be ready to go. I can't wait to feel the energy in Bank of America Stadium, KB. It's going to be electric.
Oh, yeah, man.
There we go. Look at my boy, man.
There he is. Earpiece in, ready to go. And Stu, we've heard that from so many people about the impact of this pregame speech. And then we saw, you guys' friend Greg Olson came out. He was a keep pounding drummer right before the 4th quarter. It was just electric all the way around.
Yeah, it's always good to have some nostalgia, right? Especially in moments like this where it is a division opponent. We've had history, and we're trying to create some more history. And to be a part of, that moment yesterday, and for us to have the victory to go with it.
Yes.
It made me feel really good. I just feel honored, by this organization to, always feel welcome back, and not a lot of places, have that type of opportunities for retired guys like ourselves. Yeah. And so they always welcome us back, and this was a great opportunity to get the fans ignited. They didn't really need ignited, ignition, but they were on it. Mm-hmm. And to be able to be in that moment and knowing seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers line up in the tunnel from where I was on the field, and knowing that the Carolina Panthers were walking down the hallway, and just that energy and that feeling of reminiscing, while also letting the fans know that this is also about you, right? This is about the Carolina Panther fans. Without the fans, there is no team, technically, right? And so without the fans, being by the Carolina Panthers side for the last 7-8 years while they've been going through this process of figuring out how do we get back to our old ways. And I feel like we're right there because we have Dan Morgan who's been there. We have a Dave Canales who's been around winning programs and has a winning system, a winning personality. Like everything that he does, it's all about the players, right? And so for the Carolina fan base, you are in good hands. I think we are now in, a pace where we have nothing but to traject upward, right? The elevation, we've been riding the waves. Even this season, we've been riding the waves. And one of the things, TD, you pointed out earlier, we haven't gone into a losing streak. We haven't gone into a winning streak yet. But the way we performed yesterday, the boxing match, a lot of times we go into these boxing matches and we don't come out victorious. We went into a boxing match. We understood what the defense was supposed to do and the offense, what they were supposed to do. There's some work that we got to do on special teams. Fitzmagic held down on that end. But I think we are well on our way.
I agree.
And like you said, the next step to be well on your way is this game against the Seahawks. Of course, a lot of talk about the Panthers controlling their own destiny and that Week 18 matchup with Tampa Bay on the road. But we got this game at home next week. As you said, against a very good Seattle team. The Panthers have proven that it doesn't matter what your record is. They can beat you, right? Bring on one of the best teams in the NFC South. And if the Panthers win this game and the Bucs lose, that's the division right there. So this is such a huge game. And TD, you talked about it, the advantage of this home crowd. And, one thing that I've noticed being on the sidelines for these games is, like you said, you see the penalties that come out of the crowd. And then you see, especially defenders, start to lean on this crowd. You see this all the time now. It's not just once or twice a game. It is all the time. It is, we need you right here, and the fans have delivered.
Listen, we understand how much this fan base has wanted and desired for this football team to be successful and win football games. And it's been a long time coming. And I love the response. I love the fact that they understand what they bring to the table. They understand the magnitude of where we are right now as a football team. They understand where we are trending. So in order for us to continue to do so, this is your opportunity to do your part. Come out, be loud from the start of the game until the end of the game. Like Stu talked about, being smart, understanding when our offense is on the field, be quiet. When our defense is out there, make as much noise as you can to make the other team uncomfortable. And you just never fully understand how big a false start could be, how big an illegal shift or any of that can be when the team is trying to communicate, when you get guys on different pages with the quarterback and they don't get the check and they can't hear it. And that results in sometimes us catching interceptions defensively or us being in a situation where we get a tackle for loss or we get a sack because the line didn't get the check. And that all starts with you as a fan base. And we are going to find out this weekend just how invested you guys want to be in this season.
This is for a home playoff game.
Yeah.
Come on. This is either going to be the last game in Bank of America Stadium this year or we got more to come.
Oh, I have goosebumps when you said that. Yes.
We gotta love this. Listen, this is meaningful football in December.
You gotta love it.
Okay?
Gotta love
so what else are we doing this for? We doing it so that way we can give ourselves a chance to get in the door. And when we get in the door, then we just got to go back to the drawing board and make sure we have the right plan for whoever we play next.
And the fan base, if you want to give your Panther players a Christmas gift, the best gift that you can give them is to be loud. Be loud, be loud, be loud. I promise you, every player in that locker room wants that from you as a Christmas gift. So if you love them, show it to them.
Make sure you go grab some tea this week so that way you can get your
voice right.
ready. Okay? Because it's going to require.
Don't do a whole lot of talking this week.
Yeah, just sit back, say it. Tell your
you're
people
at work, you're like, I can't right now.
Tell your people that I'm going to text you, okay? Text. So that way when you show up for this game, it is, I want an earthquake.
Get that machine going.
The Seahawks over there talking about they beast-quake. Let's have a Bryce quake, right? Let's have a Rico quake, huh? Right? Oh, I got something for y'all too.
Okay, what do you got?
Musa Muhammad yesterday, he got a new nickname
Okay.
for Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard.
All right.
Tick Tock.
Boom.
I love it. I love it.
So shout out to Musa Muhammad, man, because Moose actually named me and D'Angelo Double Trouble.
He was he needs to get some copyrights going. You know what I mean? For the Panthers fan base, that is really good. Well, look, I'm already fired up. Tick-tock, boom. I'm already fired up for this game against the Seahawks. But in the meantime, there is still some football to play. And, of course, we always got to get your Monday Night Football picks. Let's take a look at these records, all right?
God, dog.
Stu, you like to take the underdog. You like to go in an unexpected way, and it has not necessarily boded well for your win percentage.
No reward.
All right, well, let's see what Stu's got this week. All right, we got Colts at 49ers. So, Stu, you do the honors. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going C-Mac all day. C-Mac. He's going to have about 2 touchdowns. He's going to have about 70 yards rushing, 80 yards receiving.
Oh, you giving the props too, huh?
Yeah, all that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to go off on these Colts.
All right, TD, what do you think?
Hey, some cohesiveness on this show today because I'm rolling with the 49ers as well.
All
Got to
right.
roll with my dog, C-Mac.
man.
And, you know, San Fran has a few of our former teammates on that team. So, you know, I'm going to roll with those guys.
Yeah.
You know
Panther
what?
West.
Panther West. You know what, though, guys? I got to say as we close this out, it's a shame we couldn't get you too excited about this game, right? This was absolutely incredible. We know that everyone watching is just as excited as we are, the fans. We expect it to be a great atmosphere next Sunday. We'll see you all week long with the Avenue. We'll see you with the Huddle. TD and I will see you a little bit later in the week. And then we'll see you next week on the postgame show after hopefully a big win with the Seahawks. Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Keep pounding. Put them in the dirt.
I love it.
All right, bye, guys.